why you should switch to a PC. Okay, so before I get into this, I'd like to let you know that these are just my personal opinions and what I think could persuade you into building a PC. Now, I don't think I have this in the video, but the best part about building a PC is the experience you get, and also just the thrill of it. Most people that make their own PC or build it or do anything of the sort, they'll tell you that it's just an amazing experience. Screwing in the last bolt or flipping the switch on your power supply to turn it on, it's just an amazing feeling, and if you haven't done it, you should at least do it once in your lifetime. It's something that I cannot describe, but you'd have to do it yourself to experience it. Anyways, let's get into this video, and I'm sorry for being gone for so long, but I'm back. Also, the upper echelon of my videos, which I would classify this as, are gonna be I guess have a higher quality. So this is the longest script I've ever worked on. It's taken about a week, and I've fine-tuned some things, but it's not the longest video ever. So yeah, let's get into this. So the first reason is the cost. The cost of a PC is really whatever you want it to be. A PC varies to whatever price you really want it to be. You can get just about anything you want. If you want to play everything at 150 FPS, then you can save up $1,500 and get it. The kicker of this is you get something you will have built. I already mentioned that this is a great experience, but I will go into the next point, however. Or I might not. You never know. I feel many people have the ideology that a PC would cost an absorbent amount of money. But that's not the case, however. If you're interested in building it, I'll have some links in the video info section of my description. They'll have builds for $500, $800, and $1,000 respectively, depending on what you can afford. However, I wouldn't recommend anything cheaper than $500, as $500 is cutting it short. Most graphics cards nowadays cost $200 alone, and that's not counting the motherboard, CPU, cooler, case, power supply, hard drive, or SSD if you decide to get it. And then there's RAM. RAM prices are at an all-time high, so I'd recommend getting a $950 build if you want to get a decent build. Also, Ryzen will be the best, so I'll be linking a $1,000 build for Ryzen, and then an $800 for Intel, and then a $500 for Ryzen, just so you guys get it. Also, if you want a $1,000 Intel build, just search up Intel whatever CPU you want, and go from there. The other end of the cost is you can select the prices you want. Now, you can't get $100 off or get it for free, but you can get $20 to $30 off each thing. This could shave off $100 to $200, or even more if you factor in rebates and the such. This is quite fascinating to me, as a console is $500 or less depending on deals, and that's not including any games. But for a PC, you can get just about any game for a discount on Steam. So if you build your PC at the right time of the year, say Christmas, all the Christmas deals are happening. There was the Black Friday deals that just came on, and there was about, the highest I think I saw was 95% off. And so a game for $100 would cost like $5, and that's amazing. Now, no game does cost, well, $100. They usually cost $80 if you want to buy like a season pass or something like that, and it's a bundle. And then on Christmas, it would probably be around $20. So that's something I love about PC, is that just about everything on Steam gets a discount some time in the year. Also, the cost of peripherals is quite cheap now. If you want to get a really cheap mouse and keyboard, you can spend just about $20 or less on certain points. Now, they may not be the greatest of keyboards, but they would work fine for a starter. I've accumulated a few items that cost a pretty penny, so take that for what it's worth. The point is that you can choose what you want to spend your money on. This is hard to do on a console, as it costs a horrid amount of money to start with. You get a really low end, about a $200 system, and they upsell it for $500, and when it's launched, it's usually about $550. Although the Xbox One X is taking strides to make it as cheap as possible. So, for some that are price conscious, this is a turnoff towards consoles, as you can spend $60 a game, and that's about, what, $180 for 3 games? I think not. Not all games are the AAA $60 game, but most games do have in-app purchases, or not in-app purchases, but microtransactions that will greatly determine if you spend $500 on a game or $80. Now the second point. The next point is graphics. Graphics on a PC are the heavily debated topics. For one, you have an optimized system. The devs can spend a week on tweaking the console port to make it optimized. This will allow it to look good and not sacrifice any performance, well, a very minimal amount at least. It uses the hardware capabilities and pushes them so they perform at their absolute best. Many people argue for the side of PC ignore the fact that many people, and usually them, don't understand most of the options. I don't even understand what anti-aliasing is. And even though I watched a short 2-minute video explaining it, I still don't understand. Most people do not actually understand most of the options. They just understand the presets. Low, medium, high, very high, and ultra. Those are the main ones. And then there's some that they just change the name to. Now, I'm not saying that I know what they are. I already said that I didn't. But most of the self-righteous pricks also think that they're smarter because they can recite some options from a game that they play 2,000 hours on. The freedom to choose is what is amazing. Devs understand people on PCs don't usually spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on supercomputers. They mostly spend $1,000 or less, or barely more, like $1,500. And even that's a lot. So they have the options for people to change so they can optimize the game to their preference. This is something echoed throughout my video essay. You can modify and tweak things to your choosing. I love this, as on a console the most I could do was change what 1 or 2 buttons did. And then on my Razer Wildcat controller I could just remap the back buttons. But that's about it. That's the most you can get. Now I already did mention that you can get an external hard drive, but I mean that's not exactly something that will affect your games, except that you can download more. This is utterly despicable. We do see some games making the push, but the truth is the most powerful console won't be able to use its full potential, as it's usually throttle-necked by Microsoft's OS, as it has to stay in line with the Xbox One and pretty much keep just barely ahead of that. If they just made a separate generation and it was the Xbox One X, yeah, I do agree that it would be a pretty good system. But I don't think that an Xbox One X can compete to a system that just got produced today, because every day new tech is getting released, fine-tuned to make it even more powerful than it was initially. So a console will never be able to keep up unless it's upgraded and has that capability to be upgraded. Now the OS. With Windows as a whole, you can do whatever you want, really. From just being able to install Chrome and type away and spend hours watching YouTube videos, which I think we all know, to just messing with the settings. The limits are endless on a computer. For a console, you're limited to how fast you can move the joystick and press A. Now, most people don't actually use the browser, but it's something that is available on both, so I have to commend them on that. I was able to log into my email, it took me 5 minutes, but I was still able to on my Xbox. Now, what you should ask yourself is, which is the best value for an all-around system that you could use for years on end and be able to type essays on? Stuff like that, casual stuff, instead of just playing games or talking to people. A PC also excels in that, as it has Discord. Discord is probably the best video and audio chat that you can have with your friends. I love it, as I can have crystal clear conversations through my Blue Snowball. I can also listen to it on my headphones. Conclusions. While I end this, I want to clarify that I do own a console, specifically the Xbox One, non-X or S, but I do know that it does have a great many things. I also have made quite a few memories from consoles such as the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, and I got started on gaming from a console. A console is no way bad, but it's really up to what you like. But if you want to have a system to do more than just one thing and be good at it and have just something you really can use for years on end, then a PC is for you. I wouldn't have met the friends I have today if I wasn't a gamer. What most people fail to see is that whatever system you play on, we're all just gamers at heart, and at the end of the day, we're all united by our love for games.